Yo guys, Sunchipp News here. Or, welcome back I should have said. But, how many of you people have ever experienced a lot of, what's it called? A lot of thieves maybe? Well, this thief is very, very different. I know I shouldn't be uploading this, but I'm just putting this up for people who don't believe me. Sadly, we only got audio, so I hope you understand exactly what we're talking about.
That much I can't say for sure. I guess the kids did when they got home. He had it parked on our property and they moved it off, and I admit they shouldn't have.
Yeah, because now the tire's damaged, that's criminal mischief. They can be arrested for that.
Yeah, well, I think that was...
It was already...
He had it parked there where there's a lot of glass, and I think it was already ruined beforehand.
But the guy said, see, and that's why...
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't.
You don't touch...
Yeah, the only problem is...
If he wants to file charges, I'm going to have to file charges against him.
Well, that's okay. I know all they would have done, and I believe them. They just picked it up and moved it. There's no way you can get a flat tire in that little bit of distance.
The tire's definitely flat. You can see where if the tire was flat before they moved it, there'd be big gouge marks.
Not
where
really.
the tire is.
Not really.
Sure,
Not really.
the ground is soaking wet over there. There would be gouge marks where the tire spun.
Yeah.
There's no gouge marks. Okay? So the tire would have had been filled or something.
It may have been, I don't know.
Okay?
But he's been parking them under my trees, and we have those trees there. I've been born and raised in this house.
I understand that there's
a lot of busted beer bottles from my father. I don't know if you were police for years ago when my father was here. And he had other flat tires back there when we never touched them.
I understand that.
I know what he did.
But you're telling me now that they touched it. So any type of damage that's done to it, if he wants charges filed, they're going to be filed against him.
Yeah, well, you can file it, but I wish they wouldn't have done it.
Why don't you guys, I understand there's a property dispute here. Why don't you, instead of doing this, because I can tell you what happens in this aspect, okay? This is what I'm going to tell you, okay? It's going to keep escalating, escalating, okay? Until it gets to a point where then we're going to arrest somebody.
Yeah.
And you're going to go. You're going to get handcuffed and everything else and go.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, you got to know from now on, don't move anything.
Get a survey done. Yeah. That way you know where your property is.
We had the survey done. As a matter of fact, Mr. Miller did. His property is overlapping mine and his. We've told him, I've shown him the map. The pig pens are there. We have the mark on the road. We weren't supposed to do it. I don't know if you were the one that was here and did that. But it's all marked out and lined out.
Where do you have the...
Yes, I do. What do you want to say? I can take you out there. Where he had it. See, tire mark? I can see where he parked it. He had it parked here on my property. There's the line on my property. That's according to this map. First of all, because my pin is up there, marked, and here's the other pin, and the footage between these two is exactly what those pins are. Okay. I also got papers from Mr. Miller, who also had this, not just this, but his property map. Okay. Right now, he has a pin over there. It's only approximate because the neighbors are having problems here. As far as possible, I prefer to let the southern lot owners solve their own problem. This is from Mr. Miller, who owns this piece back here. His surveyor found that Mr. Racely's property overlaps his, too. And I know the reason why, but you can't tell him to say anything. Those trees are mine. When one tree branch fell in his boat, when there was ice, he came to my door. Your tree branches fell on my boat. So he knows they're mine. The property line is mine.
That's true, yeah, I forgot about that.
They're on mine. We planted these even before Mr. Raisley was here. I've been born and raised in this house, which has been in our family since 1909. I've been mowing the yard since 1965 when that line was put there. I know where the line is. Okay, we're safe from here to here. How'd the tire get damaged? You hear it?
It was like that when we got off the bus.
Okay, and he had it parked.
You guys see that tire? Okay.
Yeah.
See how the rim is hanging out there?
Oh, yeah.
You would have had to pick that tire up and move it because there's no gouge marks in the grass right there. You understand how that doesn't make sense?
Well, they're not destructive kids. All they did was move it. Whatever happened, happened. Okay. He has to learn to keep his stuff off my property. That wouldn't have happened. He did. Look where his marks are. You see his tire marks. You see what he did. Look over here.
I bet that's what did the tire.
Did you see what he did? That was racely.
If the boat was still in the spot that it was at, then you have something.
Yeah, well, I wish they wouldn't have done it. I was at work.
You understand that? I can only go by what I see.
Yeah, and you can see the marks from his trailer. Okay.
Don't forget about the
No,
thing.
when I was a kid for decades, my father, who loved to drink and he had brown bottles, threw the bottles in.
I understand that, but that's
and
not.
that's what topped the
That's
tire.
not. When was this survey done?
Which survey? We had lots of them. This was originally 1965. Okay, Mr. Miller
You don't
did
have
it
anything
in
recently?
1997. Mr. Miller did it in 1997. Okay, this is it here. That's what this paper is. 1997. He had his. Okay, off of my property. The year is here somewhere. Okay. Okay, can I show you something quick? You got good eyes. Can you see down there, just beyond the mailbox, there's a peg sticking out of the ground?
On which mailbox?
Across the street. You see a little wooden peg sticking out of the ground, right close to the tree?
No, I don't see this.
Okay.
Well, what are you trying to get?
This is the story, and Mr. Miller verified it too. Remember, I've been here when this was a house and a barn and a field, and before anybody was here. The southern boundary down there, not just Mr. Raisley's, but on this side, was always along the stone road.
I want to stop you for a second, okay? I'm not a surveyor.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend to be a surveyor.
Okay.
Okay. Honestly, you could tell me all the yardages and everything else like that. To me, that in my job right now,
Mm-hmm.
I can't get involved in that. Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't have
Well-
a degree to say that it's surveyed properly or whatever.
It isn't.
Okay.
It isn't.
Okay. He's telling me it is. You're telling me it's not.
Yeah. Well, he
Okay?
has to take us to court. That's what it boils down to.
Okay. But you don't touch other people's property, even if you think it's on your property.
I know it is.
Okay.
Okay, and I know they shouldn't.
It's
touch
in.
it.
It's in.
We
dis-
got that down.
Put it
pat.
this way: it's in dispute
Uh-huh.
that it's on
So he
your
shouldn't
property.
either. Do you guys see all this property he has, and he has to park that there? He's a troublemaker. Why, of all that
Some
place, he
people.
has to park it where?
That's the prerogative of some people. Okay.
Okay.
I can't tell them that. Listen, you have to park it someplace else. Okay. But I can
Okay.
tell you that your kids cannot touch
Oh, well, they learn
anything
that now.
that's there.
They learn now, although he's got to keep it off our property. But that doesn't matter. They learn. We're in harmony there.
Okay. So
Okay.
if something's there, okay, either go to. I don't understand why you guys ain't talking to Tim Weiss. That's who the zoning
he's
officer
aware.
is.
He's aware that that property was moved up this way too. He's aware of it. I've been to Tim Weiss a lot of times. As a matter of fact, just last week.
What do you mean the property was moved up?
Well, that's what I tried to explain to you. That whole southern boundary used to be where the trees and the stones and everything are. Okay, when we were kids, I was one of these kids that picked the stones out of the field and threw them there. Since then, Mr. Salem, who's the farm on that side, sold the farm, that all got reassessed, okay? They found out that his borderline is actually this way, about 15 feet. I don't know what the exact is. You can see where the new border is because there's a peg there where I tried to point out to you.
So that means everybody's property.
No,
So that means everybody's property.
no, no. It only means the first one because it was fields at that time, before Mr. Raisy was here. And that doesn't mean everybody else's. Mr. Miller's a lawyer. I've been talking with him and my lawyer. My pins are still there. They still count. When that southern border moved, that was all that changed, legally and everything else, okay? Because if that's the case, then you have to move everybody up all the way around the whole world. That was the only adjustment. As a matter of fact, it really wasn't an adjustment, it was a correction, okay? So, since that's moved up 15 feet, Roy Klein, who owned this field and sold it to Racely, never had those new numbers put in. Louis Ferrone, who came here to assess, used the same footage on the boundary that's up further, rather than taking the difference. You know what I mean?
So you told this to Tim Weiss.
Yes, we told that to Tim Weiss. I was just there a week or two ago.
And what did he say?
He says, we don't get into that. He says
Okay.
we don't, but he's aware of it.
This is the way it's going to happen. This is what's going to happen, okay? He had parked a boat in some place where he thought it was his property. You're saying it's in dispute. Okay.
Not as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
I mowed
But
the
you're
yard
saying-
there
you're
since I was
saying
9 years
you're
old. I
saying
know where
it's-
that boundary is.
Okay. But from where he pointed out that he had that boat parked, okay, it was where your white line started.
Okay, well, I can see the marks, and unfortunately, I can't say anything about that.
I mean, if you drove
Okay.
through your yard,
Yeah, I don't
if you-
really care.
If
Yeah.
if you seen him drive through the yard or something like that, or well, then you're okay. But don't touch anything.
I think they got
I'm
that
dead serious.
down pat.
You're gonna get arrested. Plain and simple. Okay. Criminal mischief trumps a property dispute.
Okay.
Just because you're in a property dispute doesn't mean you can damage.
Yeah,
Property.
well, I think all they did was move it, and I dare say that that was booby-trapped.
It doesn't.
You know.
It doesn't
Like a
matter
camera.
if they move it and it gets damaged in the process of moving it. Okay, they damaged it.
Okay,
That's the way the law states it. Okay.
okay.
If you do something to my property, okay, and it gets damaged in whatever you're doing,
See, now I was told otherwise. If it's on my property, then we're not accountable. He's accountable. I've been speaking to Mr. Miller, who's a lawyer
yeah,
for 50 years.
Mr. Miller might say that, but he's telling me that the boat was parked at
Did you
that
get the
white
pictures?
line.
Go out and get pictures of those tracks.
The tracks might be from him moving it
Well, that's-
to that point.
Hold on.
Okay, it's done.
Is it on? Yes, my name is Ray Morris. At 4730 Richmond Road in Easton, Pennsylvania. That's right. Pardon? Oh, it's a house. It's a house. 610-252-80. Yes. About 2 hours ago, the police were here telling me they're going to arrest my kids because they moved the boat out of my driveway. And we have more information that they need to know. When they moved the boat, the tire went flat, and the neighbor who put the boat blocking my driveway reported it to the police, and they wrote it against my kids. You know, I can't take that lightly, and I've been trying to get hold of the police by normal means, and they don't come. That's what they said, yes, for moving the boat out of my driveway, and in the meantime, the neighbor told the police, and the police told us They were here about 2 hours ago, maybe even a little more by now. But we have more information, and I do want to get this clarified. I don't want my kids arrested. You know, all they did is our neighbor put a boat blocking my driveway, and they moved it out of the way. You know, I would have done the same thing. So, yes, yep, yes, because we got to get this straightened out. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye. What happened is, I was at work, my mom wasn't here. The kids were at school. The neighbor parked his boat right here in my driveway.
Right.
I wouldn't even be able to get in my car, or in my driveway.
Okay.
He totally blocked it. So when my kids got off the bus, thinking of being helpful, they picked it up and moved it.
Okay.
And
Right, I read the report.
Yeah.
What do you need to add to the report?
that he was blocking my driveway.
Oh, okay.
The report, I don't know what they put in the report, but they're telling me they're going to arrest the kids because they flattened his tire. You know, they moved the car here to the, or moved the boat from here to there.
Okay.
Now, how are they going to make a flat tire? You know, and they want to arrest my kids. I'm concerned about that. I don't need them having.
Who said they were going to arrest your kids?
The police that were here. I don't. You got their names.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he did. I can tell you one thing. He had it parked back there for months. There's bunches of glass, busted glass bottles, that rubber bottles, they're like little beer bottles in the tree. You know, and he had it parked in my parking lot.
Okay.
But that's all they did.
You just want to add to the report that it was blocking your driveway?
Blocking my driveway.
Okay.
All they did was move it.
Okay.
And
I'll
you
add it
got
to the
a flat
report.
tire. Please add that. And you know what? I did say I don't want my kids moving their trailer. Okay. But I'm revising that. If there's anything in my driveway, my kids have my blessing to get it out of the way. I can't stop in
Yeah,
the
I'm not
middle
going to
of
put
this
that in
busy
the
road.
report. That's not necessary. I'll put in there that it was blocking your driveway, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't write that.
Yep,
It was-
I'll add that.
I wouldn't have been able to pull in.
Okay.
But I don't think my kids should be jeopardized because they, you know, out of innocence, that's all it was. Why is it in my driveway in the first place? But then
Okay.
I thought, well, if I call 911, I can explain it and it'll be on their record.
Okay.
You know, which is what I wanted
Yeah,
to
no,
do too.
I'll add that to the existing incident.
But
report
yeah,
right there.
if somebody is blocking my driveway,
Isn't
why
there like
can't
some sort
get
of
in?
property dispute going on or something? A line
Yeah,
dispute?
here's my property.
Okay.
And Mr. Miller even has it. That's where my property is. He's parked here.
You didn't even show him the peg over
Okay,
there.
for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy didn't even want to look at it. I'm trying to explain to the
Yeah, because we don't get involved in that. That's
Yeah.
all. We don't get involved. That's all
Well,
to do with the zoning.
and I can understand that.
yeah, that has nothing to do with police at all.
But we've been parking, I got pictures in the house, we've been parking cars here. This house and farm has been in my family since 1909.
Wow.
I have pictures of horse and buggies parked here
That's cool.
from my mom's brothers and sisters.
Okay.
Okay? Now, why is he all of a sudden going to try to dispute that it's his?
Right. Okay. Well, I'll add it to. I got to get going.
I
I'll
need
add that
that
to the
on there
report.
because I don't want my kids arrested and I don't want them. Is there anything on there that is
Says
putting
nothing
some
about-
kind of black mark or anything?
No, it says nothing about.
Because he said that. We had that recorded. He came in and he said that.
You have nothing to worry about. I got to get going.
Okay.
I'll add that to the report, though.
That it was
Okay.
in my way, and if it's in my way tomorrow, we're moving it again.
Okay.
Okay.